let's talk about the dangers of comparison, right? So, something that you see, especially nowadays, is people, posting the highlights of their life, right? You see people having cars, having, followers, likes, whatever it is that you feel like you lack. You see someone else, proudly showing it off. And at the same time, nothing inherently wrong with that person doing that. But the danger comes when you compare yourself to other people, right? And for me, I'm someone who's aspiring, right, to do videos and to, have not only, me reach people, but God reach people, right? And so for me, as someone who's like an aspiring content creator, it's kind of, can get defeating when you see other people with thousands of likes, thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of likes, hundreds of thousands of millions of followers, right? And you kind of feel like you're doing something wrong, or like you're so far behind, right? And that can be with anything that you do in life. So maybe it's not content, maybe it's, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's your dream job, maybe it's, traveling, maybe it's going to your dream school. I don't know what it would be, but the concept is the same, right? And in the book of James, it says that we are so blessed to have the Lord in our life, because having the Lord in your life means you lack nothing. If you have Jesus Christ in your life and he has saved you, and you are surrendered, you lack nothing, right? And that's what James is all about: obedience. James is a great book about obedience and how living your life with Christ is rewarding in and of itself, and you don't have to receive anything from anything else in the world, right? And so what God put on my heart today, what I wanted to reassure you, is that your progress is not other people's progress, and other people's progress isn't your progress. So the danger of comparison, you know how they say comparison is the thief of joy? I know it's an overplayed saying, but it's very true, because God is not, he didn't mess up with you, right? He created you knowing with the mistakes you were going to make, knowing the things you were going to choose before they even crossed your path, right? And so don't feel like, oh man, God messed up, or I messed up, it's too late, I'm behind. Think about it. Jesus didn't start his ministry until about 30 or 31 years old, right? And nowadays you see people at 20 years old, 22 years old, having houses, having cars, having millions of dollars, right? And so we're not on the world's timing, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We're on the Lord's timing. And when you trust in the Lord and you cast all that anxiety and doubt and fear to him, be honest with him. Don't just pray and be like, oh man, Lord, it's perfect, there's nothing to complain about, I'm so blessed. Even though it's true, be honest with the Lord. Tell him how you feel. Tell him you're down. Tell him you feel behind. Tell him you see other people, right? And be honest with that. And once you learn to let that go, once you learn to trust in his plan, that's also a very freeing thing, and you'll feel it in your daily life. You won't feel pressure in your daily life. You can enjoy life, because life can pass you by. You can be worrying about things that are material, worrying about things that are out of your control, and life will pass you by. You miss those moments, you miss those blessings, because you're so focused on something that is unimportant. So having God first, seeking God first, as the word says, and everything else will be added on to you. You don't have to figure it out on your own, right? And so don't compare yourself, don't compare your timeline to somebody else's timeline, because yours is yours, theirs is theirs. And at the end of the day, do you trust God's timing or not? That's the question.